So this man made a post, I guess, talking about how he just really isn't interested in women no more. Not in the sense of like he's gay or anything. He's just not interested because of the way like their egos and how they act, etc., etc. And a woman's gonna make a post about his post, right? Talking about women are tired, we give our all, we do this, that, and the third, and we still get cheated on, we don't feel appreciated, yada, yada, yada. And it just really dawns on me that a lot of you women really have it in your mind that women do no wrong, that women are just the most perfect princesses when it comes to a relationship. That all women are out here just treating their man with so much respect and dignity and just doing everything that he says that, he asks her and this, that, and the third with no lip or not putting her hands on him or whatever the case may be. But in the same breath, a lot of you women will be the same ones to say, oh my God, it's so hard making female friends. Like, make that make sense for me. The only difference between you saying that you can't make female friends and a man saying that it's like he's just getting uninterested with women is because the fact that you're not romantically involved with that woman. So you're not going to see all of the ins and outs the same way that that man is because he's being romantically involved with her. You follow? As a woman myself, I know I was a problem. I can admit that. I know I was a problem. I know I had issues. I know I wasn't perfect. I know I gave men hell. I can admit that. A lot of you women act like y'all are just the perfect of the perfect, right? Like you just didn't do nothing wrong in your relationships or towards men in general. As much as nurturing and caring and this, that, and the third that I did towards those men that I wanted to, being in relationships with them or whatever the case may be, I still gave them hell. I still was the problem. And I can admit that. And this is why a lot of you women are still in the same predicaments that you're in. Because you got friends around you, and I'm going to say friends loosely, you got friends around you that enable your behavior, thinking that it's okay just because, oh girl, you still are so nurturing to him, but you are combative as hell at the same breath. Like, make that make sense.
Man, shout out to the content creator. Man, she said a whole lot. And there's really like three parts to this I really want to address. Let's just start from the beginning, right? So the video in particular, she's saying that in the start of it, how basically a man had a reaction video, talking about, hey, I'm just checked out the game. I've been saying this for so long now in so many videos that, again, dudes are not leaving the game when it comes to dating, but they are definitely checking out. Again, it's just like basketball. Hey, coach, check me out the game. I'm gonna sit on the bench for a little bit. Hey, I'm gonna just be in practice, working on my game, and it's the same thing, working on themselves. And then when I'm ready, I check back in the game, play at a high level. And so that's kind of what a lot of guys are going to now, because at this point, they have seen, they have told women what they want, right? Number one, and women have told them what they want. So they're like, all right, you guys don't want right now, currently what we offer, right? Now, obviously, the things we can't change. We all can't be 6 feet, right? We all can't make, X amount of dollars at the same time right now. But there are things we can work on, right? We can work on getting in shape, right? Physically. We can work on our mental when it comes to, addressing our traumas and stuff like that. And we can work on our finances as well. So those are things that men are really taking a step back, say, look, we love women. Don't get it twisted. Either we're going to go to a different country to kind of get a fix, or we're going to sit here and work on ourselves. Then we'll check back in the game. Now, second thing, she was saying how another woman made a reaction to that video of the guy saying, hey, talking about how he's leaving the game or checking out the game. She's saying, look, a lot of men hurt us. They cheat on us, right? They did all the things that didn't provide us value in a relationship. And so therefore they're hurt. But I think this creator made a great point saying, look, a lot of women, they'll say all these things, but they'll never say what they do, right? They'll always say, well, the man did this, the man did that, the man did this, but they never sit back and say what they do. And I think that I've always said this as well. And it's just me every day coming across women in my life, just out in the public and just conversation. I can tell a lot of women have a lot of ego, right? A lot of ego. And here's the truth of the matter. I ain't gonna front. They got good reason to have ego, right? A lot of them have raised their standards as far as their lifestyle. A lot of them have their own businesses. A lot of them got their own money. It's like new money, right? It's like a new kid who became a millionaire. It's like you finally got money and you out here blowing it. You know, you having a great time, but you haven't matured in that money yet. And that's the same thing right now. Like women finally at a place where, in my opinion, again, I know a lot of them will say, you know, it's not all the way there. But I do believe that they're creeping up to being, you know, close to equal when it comes to pay, when it comes to a lot of positions and stuff like that. And so therefore that brings them a lot of value and a lot of, you know, life changes. And so it's like new money on the block. That's how I look at it. And so they smelling themselves, they got ego. However, at the same token, it still doesn't change what's natural, right? And what's natural is, you know, a woman's designed to be feminine, the same thing as a man designed to be masculine, right? So that won't change. And what's going on, and a lot of dudes, they'll tell you online, man, too many females are acting masculine. They're trying to compete with us. We're not trying to compete with women. That's what a lot of men are saying. And I actually agree with that. You know, when we say, hey, we don't want, you know, a woman, we have our criteria, right? We don't want X and Y and Z from women. They'll be like, oh man, this dude, he's low down. We don't like that he has, you know, he's saying these negative things about women. But again, men will say, well, when women say, hey, we want somebody who's 6 feet tall, you know what I'm saying, 6-pack abs, whatever, when they put their criteria, nothing wrong with that. You follow me? And so it's just this tit for tat situation that a lot of us been seeing online and in person. But I will say this, right? For both sides, for men and women, I think that there's a lot of healing that's needed. There's a lot of therapy that's needed. And for good measure, I would say more for the women, because you got to think about a lot of them. It's more of them, right? It's more of them than the men. And a majority of them do want relationships with men. There's not that many out there. So for women to compete, in my opinion, right, they need to do the legwork, the hard work, which is healing themselves. 'Cause a lot of them did grow up with just single mothers and traumatic situations. And they finally like lift themselves up, you know, financially and physically, but they never worked on the emotional side, right? And now to the last point, even with this girl saying, look, I love these men, right? I catered to them, I bring value, but I still brought them hell. And when you hear that part of it, it's really like, hey, I'm bringing them my internal things that I haven't worked on. So they feeling it. Yes, I'm, you know, loving them from the outside, but I can't love them from the inside because I still have trauma I need to work on. So I'm giving them hell. That's what I hear, right? And a lot of women go through this until they actually get a chance to heal. And a lot of women don't want to do the work. You know, they think that, hey, I was told to, you know, get this career. I was told to don't worry about a man. You know, I was told to, you know, do it on my own, be independent. And what happened there, they get these things and they're still not satisfied because they like, hey, something's missing, right? Something's missing. No matter if I actually get a man, I'm not able to keep that man. I'm not able to love that man how he needs to be loved because number one, I don't know better because I didn't see that growing up. And number two, nobody told me, hey, I need to work on that part of my life. They just told me, hey, get a career, you know, level up in finances. Again, don't worry about a man. But naturally, right, that urge hits like, hey, maybe I want to have a kid. Maybe I want to have a family. And because that's part of that they didn't study. Because listen, women are very smart, book smart, right? But they study these different degrees and stuff like that. But a lot of times they don't put the time in to study relationships as far as how to actually love a man and love themselves too, because they never really put the work in. And again, that's not negating that men are not doing it either. But in particular, when it comes to what she's saying, other women are keeping other women from seeing the truth. Right. Because it's kind of a hive mind thing. And that's what I've kind of noticed. If you speak to a woman like kind of independent, they'll open up to you more. But if you got 2 or 3 of them that's kind of in the same vicinity, even though they may not agree, but they don't want to be looked at in the sense of, oh, I don't want to be the outcast, so they're going to agree. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've seen. It's kind of the hive mind type thing. But anyway, the point of it is definitely men have a lot of work. Women have a lot of work as well. However, it's more women than men who are looking for those relationships. Dudes, like I said, dudes are checked out the game right now. They ain't worried about it. But females are the ones that are still worried about it, right? They're still worried about, hey, why we can't get men to approach us? Why we can't get these relationships when we go to these dating events? Why men not showing up, right? Why men not asking to take us out? Why they not being, it's like, why? And men have told y'all why, right? Men have said it. And so now they like, either we're going to go to different country, like I said, and fulfill our needs, or we're going to sit here and work on ourselves. We're going to heal, right? We're going to get our money up. We're going to get in shape. Some men never make it, but the men who do, those are now becoming the men that every woman want. And it's only so many, it's only a select few. You follow me? So, but man, like I said, shout out to the content creator. She really gave a lot of value with the way she broke down the video. But, if you like what you heard, hit the like button, subscribe, and, share this video because I'm guaranteeing somebody need to hear this message. And with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.